What we learned about copyright from a lawsuit deriving from a Jay-Z recording session. The plaintiff's name was Demi Aloha, and she was invited to the recording session as a friend of the producers. And while she was there, she started singing her own counter melody to the recording. They liked what she did, so they asked her to sing along. They recorded her, and later afterwards, they tried to negotiate something so that she could be on the record, but the negotiations broke down, and they told her they'd find somebody else, a more established artist to sing. They didn't. They used her recording, and that's the chorus to Izahova. And she rejected a flat fee payment from them and instead took them to court, claiming that she was a joint author of the work. And what I find particularly fascinating about this lawsuit is that she declared herself an author of the compositional element, but also of the sound recording. And on a motion for summary judgment, there are three particular issues that I'm discussing here very briefly. Firstly, they argue that she didn't have enough originality for her own work to be copyrightable. It was not original enough expression. And the court denied summary judgment on that. They said that a short vocal phrase might be copyrightable, and the fact that it's a counter melody doesn't take it away from that. It could be a derivative work of the original. So that becomes a jury question. The second was work for hire. The defendants claimed ownership as a work for hire. They claimed that she was an employee working within the scope of her employment. And remember, they couldn't argue that it was a specially commissioned work because that would require a writing. So they argued the employee argument, and that failed on nearly every level. The court found that all the elements weighed against there being an employee relationship, that she had the right to control her own vocal phrase, that they didn't have the right to assign other projects, and they did not in any way treat her as an employee. So that essentially also became a jury question. But the defendants did win on the joint authorship issue. The defendants sought a declaration that she was not a joint author, and the argument was that the court accepted was that Jay-Z had no intent to make her a joint authorship, so there was no shared intent to be joint authors. This is very similar to the issues I discussed in the Rent case previously. However, that did not dispose of the case because the court seemed to imply that irrespective of her being a joint author, she could have her own independent copyright interest in her particular recording, which kept the case alive. On that, it did not go to a jury. The parties wound up settling soon after that decision.